There's been a 30-year study that was conducted on the use of SSRIs, serotonin uptake inhibitors, antidepressants, anti-anxieties, antipsychotropics. The whole idea of Zoloft, the first drug to ever come out, was never ever proven. It was a hypothesis written in 1967 that was taken by the pharmaceutical companies, and they made a commercial, and the commercial had a little gray blob that's bouncing down the road. It's powerful marketing. The blob is like the saddest little fat little blob with no arms and legs, and he's just like totally bummed, and he's just like boing, 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 and then a little bluebird comes along, and he sees a little blob and he lands on him. That's Zoloft. 1 in 4 Americans today, hard statistic, are on antidepressants. Okay. 1 in 4. School shootings, the dissolving of gender boundaries, right? The dissolving of socioeconomic classes, anxiety, all these other things that are happening, right? 1 in 4. All right. Well, he's like, it's never been observed that that's what it even does. So they've studied it for 30 years. What it does do is make you suicidal and depressed.
Do you know the chemistry behind that? Like, not to get too far in the.
Well, the idea was that serotonin, the more serotonin that you have, is that you're happier that you are, right? And like, there's like, so, they believe that there's chemical processes that block you from that and blah, blah, blah. But what it is, it's the perception. They've done, if you will get a chance to go on after school and look up the anti-depression myth video with this doctor, you'll get really heavily into the chemistry. And we send out this type of information, and there's tons of information on this stuff, and we let the person decide. But the truth is, if you're applying to come to this program, what you're doing in your life is not working. Yep. It's failing. And the truth is, every 64 minutes, a veteran kills himself in North America. This morning, a veteran killed himself. A friend of mine reached out before this podcast. Last week, another guy in 1 year lost the 8th guy out of his unit to suicide. Okay? The dead are dead, and they can't be undone. The past can never and never will ever, ever, never be altered, ever. So that's over. We don't have to like it, but we have to accept it. Okay. But what about the living dead? The warriors. These are the ones that can rise up, and we can live in a different way. The power of the good mind. Einstein was asked the question in Ideas and Opinions. He said, what is the most important natural law? And he said, the law of compounding. I'm like, what's the law of compounding? You start thinking about that. Start reading about it. What's happening right now is what he was saying is society has entered into a reverse explosion. It's an explosion in reverse.
So an implosion.
An implosion. That's what we're experiencing right now, an implosion. And if you are blocking your consciousness, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get there.
Yeah. So from, I guess from a protocol standpoint, do you guys have hard lines in place where like, hey, if you're accepted to this, you can't bring medication, you can't be on that shit while you're here, or is it?
Listen, I wish I could do that, but I'd probably get sued, and somebody, which didn't care because I wouldn't answer the letters because I don't care. Yeah. You got to speak the truth. The truth is, listen, you'll be put in jail today for your ideas. I understand that. So it's like they'll put you in, they will put you in jail for your own ideas. All right, just ideas. You don't have to do anything. Ideas. So what happens is we really do an amazing job, I believe, leading up to it, where the majority of guys work with their care providers, even though they push back on them because they're drug dealers.
Yeah.
A lot of guys say, hey, man, I don't use any street drugs. And then they'll be on 18 pills. And you're like,
what's the difference?
You should start smoking weed and get off all that stuff. Like, I mean, come on, dude. Do the street drugs. By the way, it like grows over there next to a palm tree.
Under that pile of cow shit.
Yeah, exactly. The world is what it is. Not my perception, just what is. And remember, people say, well, what is truth? Everyone's always like, the truth, the truth, the truth, the truth. What the fuck is the truth? The universe, the sky, I don't know, the UFO. Like, what's the truth, right? The truth is simply this. Whatever has happened and whatever is happening now is the truth. To lie to them and to not tell them the truth is to do a disservice. You tell your kids that Santa's going to bring you gifts through the chimney, you're a fucking fool, because that's a lie. The idea that somebody comes because you behave a certain way is going to give you free stuff. If you act in a certain way, you get free stuff. That is a lie. It's not true. People may say, oh, the magic. Okay, that's not what magic is. People say, well, then what's magic? Magic is vision plus action. You have to have the vision and then you have to act. And so I teach my kids to act on the vision that they create. I don't shield them. When I make a mistake, I sit down with my kids, I tell them, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've done this. I've done this. I've done that. Like, I own it. And I give them the permission to do the same. And how I move through my own life sets the example for what they're going to face. Because let me tell you, the conditions that we're creating right now for our children, if they don't have the tools that I'm talking about in the future, you can pencil it out. When you see the dissolving of gender, of social economic, of race, political structure, okay, technology, and environmental catastrophes, if you were to pencil it out in a mathematical equation, it's a reverse explosion, and it's happening right now. And remember, like, it's the law. You know, I teach my kids about natural law of cause and effect. That's a law that children have to learn. The law of cause and effect. Well, for every cause, there's an effect, and you're either the cause or you're the effect of it. Well, everyone's running around and they don't know it. They're the effect. They're the byproduct of the causers. And so when they learn really that the crowning jewel of it all is my actions, I have to get up and I have to act. I don't care how many cold plunge videos you watch and how many, breath work things you do staring at the wall or whatever the thing is. I'm not knocking anything. I kind of can come across sarcastic, but I'm not. You have to get up and you got to do it. You have to do. You have to live in a different way. You have to change. You have to put the fork down. You got to get off the shit. You have to change. Like, otherwise, it doesn't matter. The incessant desire for information and to find out what's going on just creates more things to go on. So it's like teaching these laws to our kids and teaching them, just like you think about societies like Native American societies, egalitarian cultures. What did they do? The young men were raised up to be warriors, right? They were raised up to be brave. What does it mean to be brave? People think, oh, like, you used to be like a tough guy or whatever. I wasn't brave. I was scared. I was scared of not being seen on this earth, of being lost in the sea of people, right? I was afraid. The hero and the coward feel the same thing. The hero and the coward feel the same exact thing. The difference is the hero acts. He stands up and is like, doesn't mean he's not feeling it, and doesn't mean he doesn't feel afraid, but he doesn't let it control him. And so, like, to teach our children, they have to learn the lessons that life has to teach them, and you cannot shield them from that. And people are like, I don't want to screw up my kids. They're already in a screwed up world. Like, it's already, they're born into it. Give them the tools. Sit down. I sit down and I talk to the kids and I tell them the truth. And I teach them not to be afraid. What's afraid mean? What does it mean to have fear? Fear is nothing more than the same word for the unknown. Everything is selling you this idea that somebody has some secret sauce to prevent you from the unknown. You know, you see these boxers, they get up there, $25 million. This guy's trying to take food off my family's plate. The fuck? What are you eating? Well, golden eagle eggs? Like, what is happening, right? You sit there, you can't even focus. You're on your cell phone. You can't even pay attention. Like, the truth is coming at you. It's pounding you in the face, and you're rejecting it, right? Under the illusion that you sell your power away to these institutions. Financial security, not real. Financial security is fake. Marcus Aurelius. Why? It can be taken from you in an instant. Physical security. Oh, okay, I like jiu-jitsu, karate chop you, like I do some, like the guess what? You zig, they zag, you're gone. I care what you know. Okay? You're on the border in Ukraine right now. You're zig, you zag, it's over. Okay? Physical security. What are all of the things? The only thing you will ever own in this life, and the most important and most valuable thing we give away, prostitute, and that's our choices. Our choices are so powerful that they terraform the planet. But if you can't think and realize that your thoughts are creating the conditions you're experiencing, you're making choices that enrich and empower other people that build the prisons around you.